sort of offhandedly from the podcast. People have asked me for longer podcasts. This is what I do to make that happen. I try to answer questions. I'm going live on Instagram, YouTube, of course. I'm also live on TikTok and Twitch. So you can join me on any of those platforms if you prefer one of those over the other. And I would love to have you come and join me for one of these shows. I'm about to go live up here on Instagram, so we're going to get some questions. If you have any questions that you would like answered either here or on the podcast, you can join the free weight loss Discord community. The link is anywhere you can find links related to me. And that's I try to answer a question every week. So, and I'll give you a shout out as well if you pop in. So, without any further ado, I've now gone live on Instagram, so we should start getting some people popping in here shortly. We'll get some questions, and we'll get talking about the things that we're proud of. I like to start every stream by asking what everybody's proud of. Do I like Alice in Chains? I don't think I've ever heard a song by them. I'm aware of their existence, but I couldn't say that I know anything by them. Kayla, hi there. Glad to see you. By the way, in case anyone's joining me here for the first time, I lost 110 pounds, but I'm most proud of keeping the weight off. I'm very good at losing weight. I'm very good at gaining weight. But what I would like to do is keep the weight off, and I've done that now for about 2 years, and I'm extremely proud of that fact. Of course, I'm proud of the fact that I've lost 110 pounds, but I lost 100 pounds several times in a row. I just gained it all back several times in a row. Ella, hi there. Glad to see you again. Kayla says, I do have a question about water fasting, and I've also lost 60 pounds, and I'm only 16. Well, first off, if you're only 16, I would recommend very strongly that you speak with a trusted adult in your life and you don't get information from people online. That all being said, don't starve yourself. I promise you this. I really damaged my body pretty badly by starving myself with water fasts. It's not something you want to do, especially at a very formative age like yours. Soundgarden, I think I'm a little more. Soundgarden did Black Hole Sun, right? I think that's the only song I can name from them. Hey, Jesse's here. First off, congrats on the 10K. You deserve it. Absolutely fantastic. Did you rock the muscle shirt the rest of the day? Did you go out in public? No, I haven't gone out in public today. Very generous of you to call it a muscle shirt, considering I'm the one wearing it. But Ken's here. Ken is one of our rock stars. It's a little bit late here. From our Discord community, I would love to have you there, including Jesse, including Smitty. Smitty's here from Rupert's Land. That seems like a Canadian reference. I'm not sure what that means. But Ken says, hey, Mike, today I'm proud of completing a fairly complicated project in Excel that requires combining several reports and making up a couple of new ones. How many of you have ever lied on a job application and said that you're good at Excel? And you think to yourself, well, you know, if ever I'm called to use Excel, I can figure it out. Because I know I've done that plenty of times. Hi from the Arctic. I lost 176 over 3 years, having a hard time getting all my protein in. Any suggestions? So my first suggestion is going to be, number one, what are you using to base the amount of protein that you're getting? Like, what metric are you deciding on how much protein you should get in a day? That'll be my first question to you, and that will determine what my second question is. What's your protein goal, and how did you determine what that is? We got Steven. What's going on, buddy? Glad to see you again today. I live on Excel. Oh, geez. They shouldn't have taught me engineering. They should have taught me Excel. Every time I think I'm good at Excel, I get asked to do something that I've never used it for and have to learn more. I don't understand how people use Excel. Anytime I've tried to use it, insanity. Wanting to start weight training, any tips to begin with? Yeah, just show up to the gym and mess around with some weights and some machines. Don't go in there with an entire routine. Build it as you go in. You don't know what you want to do yet. You don't know what you like yet. Also, look up like musculature. Look up muscular anatomy. There's a website called musclewiki.com, like Wikipedia, musclewiki.com, and you can click on any muscle there, and it'll tell you how to work out that muscle. Really cool thing. You've worked in IT for 15 years. Oh, geez. I support Excel every week. I still have no clue. You've worked in Excel for IT for 15 years. Jesse, how old are you? I was under the assumption that you were much younger than me. Hey, Mike New here. Hey, Wonder, what's going on? I was wondering, what you might say about things like autistic safe foods and such. Hey there. Wait, hold up. Oops. I don't know if you can read that hat. It says, "Please be patient. I have autism," which I've earned because I've got it. I've got my own safe foods. I've got my own triggers and ticks and all sorts of stuff. And so let's read your question one more time. Hey, Mike, New here. I was wondering what you might say about things like autistic safe foods and such. It's a big diet restriction for me, and what is considered safe for me is often not good for me. So, as somebody who is, pretty resistant to trying a lot of new things, I need things to be a little bit more familiar. It has been difficult. I'm not going to lie. It has certainly been difficult adding new things into my diet. That all being said, I don't move too far out of my comfort zone each time. I move in something called 5%. So those of you who have been here for a while have heard me talk about the rule of 5%. And that is my universal law of I don't make 100% changes. I make 5% changes. Because 100% changes suck. They're not all that great. And there's actually a scientific reason for why 100% changes don't work. And that's because they're too damn hard. So you make 5% changes. Give me one of your autistic safe foods, and I'll try to give you a 5% shift in the proper direction, and we'll work from there. I need that hat. I got it on Amazon, I think, for $15 or something. Thoughts on ground turkey? Personally, I'm a big fan, almost as big a fan as I am of Alice in Chains and Soundgarden. I'm going to have to listen to Alice in Chains now, and I know that if Soundgarden's anything like Black Hole Sun, I think I do like it. But thoughts on ground turkey, it's all about the way you season it. The reason that people don't like chicken breast is because they don't know how to season it. Hot take, chicken breasts are not bad. Chicken breast is not bad. Chicken breasts are not bad. I don't know. They're not bad. You're just bad at seasoning and cooking them. I've had it just about every night for 2 years now. Speaking of autism, one of my safe foods, I worked up to the chicken breast. I just seasoned it the way that I like it. It tastes like chicken nuggets a little bit, to be quite honest. A little bit heavier on the garlic. Seasonings will change everything for you. Yeah, if you season it correctly, it'll be great. If you don't season it correctly, you're not going to eat it. And this leads me to another very important point. Do any of you right now feel like you are struggling to hold on? Do any of you feel like every day is a race against the clock, a race against your willpower, anything like that, to the point where you're like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to maintain what I'm doing right now? My doctor says I should be at 68 to 75 grams per day. I usually have a protein shake in the morning and use beans, lentils, eggs, tofu for protein, with having gastric sleeve 3 years ago, they say. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely going to be a little bit more difficult for you to get the amount in that you'd like to. Is there any reason that we're avoiding meat specifically? Because that seems, aside from the eggs, of course, we're in vegetarian territory, though I know some vegetarians are okay with eggs so long as they're ethically sourced. You should only have 1,200 calories a day. Who told you that? Was that the internet? Oh, okay, yeah, you are a vegetarian. Okay. I'd get a second opinion, quite honestly. I'd speak to a different dietitian or a different doctor because 1,200 calories is way too low for a grown human being. Unless you are very small and basically completely inactive. By the way, if I miss your comment over on Instagram, I would love to invite you to come over to Twitch or YouTube, where I will definitely see your comment. I can't always see the comments on Instagram, so I'm going to pop on over here to Twitch and YouTube. Let's keep on keeping on. I enjoy a good chicken sandwich. I don't get pickles or anything because that one kind of gets me. Oh, okay, Wonder, you and I are going to be friends. I do not like pickles, even slightly. I don't like the taste. I don't like the texture. I'm a big texture guy. If the texture is off, it doesn't matter how good it tastes. I can't deal with it. And pickles just check all the wrong boxes for me. Yeah, if you don't like pickles, you don't have to have them. My diet, if you were to run it by a dietitian, is probably a C plus at best. But when you compare it to my 265-pound self, the one that was eating entire pizzas in his car and going to McDonald's 3 times a day, a C plus is a damn good job. I would much rather have that than my old diet, that's for sure. I have made great strides with a diet that's just kind of And all the people who are complaining about seed oils and chemicals and all that shit, they're all way less in shape and healthy than I am. My blood works great. My doctor is not concerned about me even slightly. Whereas back in my day, when I was consuming all manner of terrible things, especially when I would do keto or I tried things that were similar to carnivore, I was not very healthy. Things were terrible for me at the time. Honestly, my Ninja air fryer is the best thing to make chicken breast. Oh, yeah. Great idea. Also, I was in culinary school, so I consider myself a pretty good cook. Steven, if you are not yet in the Discord group, there is a channel specifically for cooking and food and all that kind of stuff. If you are a culinary chef, I would love for you to come in there and share some of the recipes that you make, because people share some awesome stuff. Yes, but not because of anything related to food or exercise. What did I forget what that was in relation to. The 1,200 calorie. Can we really quick talk about the 1,200 calorie diet and where that came from? Father Loop, hey there, glad to see you. Let's talk about the 1,200 calorie myth for a second. I want to set the scene here. The scene is you go into the doctor's office and you're waiting to be seen, and the nurse or the receptionist is like, hey, your doctor will be out in just a minute. We're unthawing them from cryo sleep from the 1800s. So you're going to have a doctor from the 1800s that's going to treat you. Would you tell them, hey, could I maybe get a doctor from 2024? Could I get somebody? No, we're going to give you the doctor from the 1800s. That'll be fine, right? Just take the 1800s doctor. A doctor that came up when hand washing was to contention and we were treating the ick with cocaine and leeches. Yeah, that's the doctor I want, right? That was the same time that we started to document the 1,200 calorie diet. Was about the same time that people were like, well, hand washing is the devil and it's ungodly. It wasn't based on anything other than stubbornness. Fast forward that to the 20s to the 50s, and when we were advertising cigarettes as a weight loss cure, and the 1,200 calorie diet was being pushed towards, you want to guess which gender it was being pushed towards? What all unhealthy food and diet standards get pushed towards? Women. Because it kept them slim and slick and attractive so that they could stay pregnant in the kitchen while their abusive husbands kept them in the home. The 1,200 calorie diet is total fucking bullshit. All of it. Unless you're like 4'5" and you're bound to a hospital bed, there's a solid shot you don't need 1,200 calories. You need more than that. Hey, Mike, how are you doing? I'm doing good. Things are all right. Same, if the texture is wrong, then I don't care about the flavor. Doughboy says 130 pounds needs to talk to your 200-plus self because I cannot gain weight for shit. Oh, I am not 200 pounds right now. I'm 175-ish, and I'm trying to. I've spent 2 years putting on 20 pounds. It's super, super difficult. Really, really difficult. Oh, the 1,200 is plenty. Reddit is just an eating disorder forum. It's advertising eating disorders. Just like a lot of influencers on Instagram that talk about fasting and carnivore and stuff. They're just promoting eating disorders. The fact that Reddit knows that subreddit is up there, Reddit is complicit. It is a very large community, and they could do something about it, but they choose not to every day. Reddit is pushing eating disorders. Fucking hate that shit. Just popped on. You're wearing your tank top. That's awesome. Yeah, I've tried to wear it for most of the day. There was a time there before where where'd it go? I was wearing this, but I keep switching back here because I'm like, you know what? I want to be more comfortable. Just like when you've seen me shirtless, it's usually because I'm not comfortable and I'd like to try to become comfortable. I would love an invite to the Discord. Can't wait to get welcomed and check in every blue moon. So you can get that link. You're on YouTube. So if you go to my bio, the about page for me, and it'll say Linktree/Mike Pridgeon. It's right on the top. It says join the free weight loss Discord community. And you can pop right in there, say hi. You can use it as much or as little as you'd like. Look at them shoulders. They look fine. I'm doing my best, Smitty. Thank you so much. My shoulders are a weak point for me right now, so that means a lot. That's something you would say. I think you would point out. Oh, you were saying you used to be, and I need to talk to that guy. Oh, no, you don't want to talk to that guy. That guy wanted to kill himself all the time. The fact that I'm here right now is just sheer force of will, getting around that and dealing with the fact that I was slowly killing myself through the way that I was eating. I wasn't healthy. When I talk about being 265 pounds, it wasn't 265 pounds. It was like I was sick. I could not bend over without losing my breath. It was a really, really bad time. And I did so through great pain. I remember there was one night specifically, because I used to overeat to the point that I was like scared for my safety. And I was Googling what happens if your stomach ruptures? What's the survival rate of people who have to go and get surgery for their stomach rupturing from eating too much? While I was eating. I was eating while I'm looking up, do I survive if my stomach bursts if I continue eating? You cannot tell me that I was just too hungry. I wasn't hungry. I was hardly ever eating as a consequence of being hungry. I was eating because I was sad. I was eating because I was frustrated. I was eating because I was hurting, because I felt disrespected, because I felt lonely, because I felt annoyed, because I was procrastinating. It wasn't that I just had an insatiable appetite. Nobody has an insatiable appetite. What they have is an emotion that is not being satiated. What that emotion may be, I have no idea. It's something that we'd have to speak one-on-one about. But for me personally, I know for a fact that I was not eating because I just couldn't stop being hungry. I don't think there was probably a period of several years where I did not allow myself to even be hungry. Because I was just constantly shoving my mouth full of food. And if emotional eating worked, none of you would be here right now. I wouldn't have 240,000 followers on Instagram, 100,000 on TikTok, and growing on YouTube. By the way, I'm going to be putting a lot more effort into YouTube here. I'm posting every day over there. If you miss seeing my videos on Instagram, I would love for you to join me on YouTube with Steven and Wonder and Doughboy, and I think we had somebody else on YouTube as well. But thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Reddit and MyFitnessPal drives me crazy. I'm obsessive, so I see how low they say I should eat, and then I have to convince myself I need more. Yeah, MyFitnessPal is a great tracker. MyFitnessPal is a fantastic tracker. What it is not is an estimator. It will always underestimate your calories because it does have a financial interest in watching you lose scale weight. So it will underestimate the amount of calories that you truly need to satiate and be safe. But it's a great tracker. I use it myself. I just tell people don't use the tracker there. Use calculator.net, the total daily energy expenditure calculator on calculator.net. I pop it over to Instagram really quick. I just want to remind everyone on Instagram, if I miss your comment, it's not because I didn't want to read it. It's because I didn't see it. Come on over to Twitch or YouTube, and I guarantee you I'll see your comment. But Ella says, I really try to work on the guilt from doing it myself. I am terrified of inner body health issues. When I dropped, I'm 6'3", which is like 190 centimeters or something like that. I don't know where everybody is. I was 155 pounds. For those of you doing the math, too skinny, way too small. 155 pounds, 6'3", is not healthy. And if I didn't catch myself, if I was not concerned about the fact that I was literally killing myself, doing the things that I was doing, starving myself, doing water fasts and all that insanity, I'd be dead, guaranteed. But the thing that stopped me was the fact that I was like, I know that my body is going to fail beneath this, and that scared me. April says, hey, switched over here after my BF called. Good BF. Didn't hear your answer. If you saw it on Insta, have you tried Kachava before or know anything about it? I've heard of Kachava. I've heard it's a podcast sponsor company. It's like Manscaped and Audible and that. Like, you always hear about that on podcasts. I know nothing about it. I think it's like a greens powder or something, and if it is, like, it's not going to hurt you, but it's also not going to help you. They're very unregulated, so the amount of nutrients that are in them is often way overstated, and you'll find that with the galaxy of stars and asterisks on any of those supplement packages, where it'll say, like, this has not been evaluated or regulated by the FDA. They can't put anything terribly unsafe in there if it comes off of a shelf, but what's the point if it's not going to give you any benefit? That short you posted the other day helped me talk to a gal I was interested in. I truly needed that. Which one was that? Oh, boy, tell me. First off, congratulations. That's something that scares the hell out of me. But I'm glad that I was able to help you do that. Wonderful. Live on YouTube, Polar Panda, yes. Pop on over to YouTube, and I will definitely see your comments, because I have a very hard time seeing the ones on Instagram. So let's pop on over here. I joined on Tumblr, and legit the algorithm pushes nothing but straight up pro-anorexia accounts to me, not just one or two, but like the majority of accounts think I would like anorexia. Yeah. It's same thing with, what's it called, Instagram. Instagram's a dying platform. They're just shooting themselves in the foot. I'm trying to move everybody over to YouTube, so if you miss seeing my videos on Instagram, my positive messages on Instagram, my not eating disorder promoting content on Instagram that does not drive as much engagement as somebody that's fear baiting and telling people to starve themselves, come on over to YouTube, because Adam Mosseri wants you to hate yourself, because it makes you stay on the platform longer. I will never make you hate yourself. I will not peddle fear. I will not peddle hatred. I will only speak the truth here, and I will do so if it kills me. AG1 almost got me, but the price, I'll just stick to my veggies. Yeah, see, it's not like it's going to hurt you. That's the thing. Like, these things, you'll just buy them, and what it does is it creates really expensive pee. You're just going to pee all of it out. You can only absorb a certain amount of vitamins, so even if it was loaded up with like 10,000% of your daily B vitamins, you're just going to piss it all out anyway. That all being said, you don't want to have too much of A and E vitamins, because they're compounding and they'll build up in your fat stores, and you can have vitamin A toxicity and such. But like, you'd have to eat a bunch of it on a regular basis for that to happen. So you don't need it. I take a multivitamin every day as nutritional assurance. That's it. It's not like putting a supplement on top of a shitty diet just is a shitty diet with a supplement on top of it. I'm just adding like a little extra 10% of a benefit. Any advice for handling stress and trying to be happy? I'm training weights 4 days per week and jiu-jitsu 3 days per week. I have no GF, and most of my friends just left for college. So I myself, I just moved to a new place where I've only got one friend, my girlfriend, at the moment, and it's wonderful to be here with her, because I was, in my old hometown, all my friends had moved away too, so I was basically alone. it's great to be here. But a lot of my core group, my community is online, so it's been pretty fulfilling to me, to be quite honest, being involved with all the people that I'm involved with. That all being said, like I enjoy my gym routine. So, so long as you're talking about handling stress and being happy, if weights 4 days per week and jiu-jitsu 3 days per week is stressing you out, maybe you got to scale back on one of them. But if you like them both, keep going. No trouble. Another awesome YouTube. Let's go, Chet. Well, thank you, Polar Panda. I'm glad that you moved over here from Instagram over to YouTube, which is where all the cool kids are. Thank you. What do I do when I'm craving something but don't know what I'm craving? So if you don't know what you're craving, if you don't have a solid idea of what it is that you want, you probably don't want food. First, just to satisfy the monkey brain, right here, drink some water. Unchecked hunger signals unchecked thirst will sometimes register as hunger signals to those who have not checked them yet, to figure out, what do my hunger signals mean? What do they sound like? What do they feel like? Sometimes you just need a little bit of water. That all being said, assess the situation you're in. Is it late at night that you start craving things but can't figure out what it is? Because if it is, what you're craving is stimulation. What you're craving is something to stimulate you in the dark times when nothing is happening. It's one of the reasons I'm here talking to you on YouTube and Twitch and Instagram and TikTok. By the way, TikTok, I'm not able to see your comments. If you can hear me right now, just know that I care about you and I love you. So thank you for being here. But anyhow, what was I saying before? I already forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? It's all gone. Oh, yeah, the craving thing. You're not craving food. You're craving stimulation. That all being said, it's 12:19 here in Central Time in the United States. If it's anything close to that where you are, the answer might just be to go the fuck to sleep. You don't have to be awake right now. It's okay. The Discord already looks like a great place. Might actively try to check in. Cool. Hey, and don't force yourself to get into it super hard. Okay? You don't have to be there every single day just yet, just like I wouldn't recommend people go to the gym every day as they start off. I pop in once a day, put a message in, just leave it out there. No one's going to be like, hey, where did you go? Why haven't you been here? Like, you can be there as much or as little as you want. I've got people that are there every day. I've got people who pop in once a week. I've got somebody who just came in after being gone for a couple of months and was like, hey, I'm glad to be here. And everyone just welcomed them back. That's all. Like, it's a very welcoming community. We don't tolerate any hatred or bullying. We unfortunately had to ban one person today. And I think, Smitty, that might be the second or third person we've banned ever. If that's the case, like, we've got, 2,300 members. We've been up for a year now, more than a year, and we've only had to ban like 3 people. So you're not going to ever face any kind of trouble there. Mahogany, what a nice thing to say. Thank you so much. Mike, please do a show in South Africa. Pay my way, and I'll be over there. You pay me to come anywhere, I will show up. Just get me a plane ticket and get me a place to stay. I don't even need a fee on top of that. Just make me break even. Service dog teacher, switch over to YouTube. With losing weight, having a hard time with body image adjustment, and others treating me differently, positive and negative. Ooh, Kayla, this is an interesting one for me here. I do recognize that there's a bit more respect coming my way as I've lost 110 pounds. Romantic interest never really changed in any capacity, but it went from basically zero to basically zero. But when it comes to respect and people listening to me, if I tried to tell my story when I was 110 pounds heavier, people would call me a fat ass and they'd tell me to starve myself and shut the fuck up and what are you complaining about, fatty, all that kind of, I see people, I've got friends who are still on their weight loss journeys who are heavier, and they've just got nothing but bullies in their comments, and they're talking about the same stuff I am. They've got the same messages that I do, and they're doing great work out there. but all their comments are just people patronizing them and saying awful things. So it's difficult because on one end, you and I are the recipient of something good now, right? So it feels a little bit guilty, or it feels a little bit good and we feel guilty about it being good. But then it also feels bad because you think, well, shit, what happened to this before? I'm the same person, more or less. Obviously, I've changed the way that I live and the way that I operate, but I'm still worthy. Just because I'm heavier doesn't mean I'm not worthy of being heard. Suggestions for water haters. I have the taste buds of a child and have never drank enough water. So, number one, cold water, it's unbeatable. Okay? Get a good water filter and drink up. That all being said, I've got some mix in here. It's a grape squirty thing from Aldi. It's like a low-calorie thing. It's like 5 calories per serving or whatever, and it tastes delicious. It tastes like purple, which I like. I don't want the fruit-flavored natural ones. I want it where it tastes like purple, and that one tastes like purple. So I drink that a whole lot. These guys here, these Clear Americans from Walmart. This one's the peach flavor. I've got a whole bunch of these over here. I got to throw them out. But those are really good. It's like a diet soda, 0 calories, really great. So that's an option right there. And before any of the gym bros were like, it doesn't count as water, bro. Well, yeah, fucking steroids don't count as working out, but they still do it anyway. So drink some fucking diet soda. What do you recommend for craving stimulation if you can't sleep? So I took a melatonin about 30 minutes ago. I took it right before I got on here. It hasn't hit quite yet, but when I feel like I'm a little bit restless and I can't sleep, I pop a melatonin. I'm asleep. Hi from Washington State. Any news on the beginner's course? Working on it at the moment. I've got a couple of balls up in the air right now. One of them is going to be an intensive calorie tracking thing for some more for people who are really ready to level up. It's not like a beginner's situation, but I am going to be launching a beginner's course. Emotional question from the Discord of our newest member: suggestions for improving self-image in the mirror. Oh goodness, I'm still working on that. Well, if that's in the Discord question section, I will be answering that on the podcast next week. So we'll get there when we get there. I'm going to have to think about that one, to be quite honest. Talking about the emotional / stress eating really struck me. It's probably my biggest problem, especially since I have clinical depression. Hey there, actually need medicine and stuff. Yeah, myself as well. Anxiety, depression, a whole bunch of eating disorders. I'm just 23 recessive genes masquerading as a human being in a trench coat. It's difficult, trust me. I get it. And I'm not pitching a miracle solution here either. This is advice coming from someone who's still working on it, who's still growing and still learning and changing. So, never will I claim that I know everything like many people on Instagram will. My username, anywhere you can find me, Mike Needs a Plan. What does that mean? What does Mike Needs a Plan mean? It means that I still don't have any fucking idea what I'm doing, but you guys keep tuning in and listening anyway. That's what this whole thing's about. It's just people who want to know what to do, opening themselves up to the idea that maybe they don't know everything. And on my podcast, Polar Panda, you just called it, on my podcast, which actually just came out again today, every Wednesday it does, I invite viewers for the half hour that I air it to just admit that they don't know, which is fine. One of the greatest things I've ever done for myself is just admit that I don't know everything. When you can admit that you don't know everything, things get a lot easier. The worst person in your life assumes they know everything. Yes, tank top. Yes, Elizabeth. I love that every time I see your name. Elizabeth in Progress. What a great name. You just have a fantastic name. Cold water hits amazing. Every sip is just as nice as the last for me. I've come to appreciate water over the past few years. I have too. I used to drink 6 cans of soda a night like an alcoholic. It was really... Hey, Adam's here. Everybody say hi to my friend Adam. Wonderful to see you here, buddy. It's late where you are. It's 1:27 p.m. over on the East Coast, where you're at. What are you doing up? Well, we don't work at 6 in the morning anymore, so it's a little bit, or maybe you still do. I don't know. But I know you're not at the same place working at 6 in the morning. Thank you for your words to my question earlier. Any tips or practice to put into place for healthy work/mental awareness, meal prep, and gym? Let's narrow that down a little bit. I would like to... What are you looking to accomplish here? Are you just trying to like level up in general, or is there one of those things that you would like to build upon? Are we the same person or something? I tend to attract a certain demographic of people. One of the things that I think you had just said that you're new here. So first off, just for anybody who's new, because I've got a video on YouTube that's doing kind of okay at the moment, so I think I'm going to be getting a couple of new people from YouTube. I lost 110 pounds. I'm most proud of keeping the weight off, and I've done so by being kind to myself, addressing why it is the weight was there in the first place, and working on trying not to put the weight back on again and being happy while I do it. I was worthy of happiness at 265 pounds. I'm worthy of happiness right now. So what I'm trying to do is instill that in everyone on their journey. Since I can't go back to me at the beginning of my journey, the next best thing I can do is reach you, because you and I are on the same path. If you have decided to make a change, you and I are on the same path. I'm just a couple of paces ahead. That's it. I'm not on a different timeline. I'm not on a different tangent. You and I are in the same place. You keep walking, you end up where I am. It's just my job to grab you by the hand and say, let's this way. Going down the wrong way. Let's go over this way. That path isn't paved. Let's go this way. Oh, I ran out of water and I'm really sad. But yeah, I've most of my very viral videos are me crying, or me being very vulnerable and sharing things that have are very healing. You know, so if you were to look through my more popular videos, the ones that are 5 million plus views each, you'll see me just crying in the woods talking about, like, you don't deserve to talk to yourself the way that you do. I didn't lose 110 pounds and keep it off until I stopped doing it out of hatred, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not the guy who's like, here's how to track your calories. We do talk about calories here from time to time, but to be quite honest, it's like there's other stuff that's more important. We can build on that stuff when we have a solid foundation on which to build it. And having that solid foundation is having a solid belief in yourself that you are capable of doing this, that you can do it. Instagram, I am going to shut down the stream. If anybody is still listening, pop on over to YouTube or Twitch. Same with TikTok. I think I'm able to shut that down as well. If you're hearing me from either one and you still want to hear the stream, because I'm going to stay live on YouTube and Twitch, pop on over to YouTube or Twitch at Mike Needs a Plan on either one. Be kind to yourselves if not. Okay, now the adults are speaking. Everybody whip out your dicks. And whatever else you have if you don't have one. Either way, you're just playing... Adam, we've got a 7 Days to Die server. I can send you that information if you're on PC for it, and you want to play with some friends. I would. I'll forward the information over to you. Do I have you on Steam? If so, or if not, text me with your Steam information. If you want to play, I can give you the server's always up, so you can always pop in. All people are saying they're proud of me. Thank you. Thank you, April, specifically. I usually eat pineapple or apples in the morning around 6 a.m., and then I don't feel hungry until 7. But I'm never too hungry, but I'm not interested in eating. Is that healthy? Is that normal? I'm uninterested in food lately. There are periods where it happens. I'm not going to tell you it doesn't happen. That all being said, if it continues to happen over a period of weeks or a month or so, I would definitely talk to somebody about it. Not having an appetite is not the greatest thing in the world, despite what eating disorder TikTok and eating disorder Instagram would like you to think. You need to eat, and you wouldn't be asking me that question if you didn't have that somewhere in the back of your head. So You want to focus on the gym, building with flexibility and building my mobility and strength. However, sometimes work, being a high school principal, and meal prep take most of my time from when I want to focus on. Okay, so when it comes to meal prep, I prep ingredients. My dinner that I have every night takes about 10, 15 minutes. It's one pot. And it requires one thing that I cook in advance, which is my chicken breast. I will bake it in 2-week batches. So I make about as much as I need for 2 weeks, and I'll put half of it in a freezer bag and half of it in another freezer bag in the refrigerator. And whatever chicken that I need at night, I chop it up, I put it into my meal, and I'm good to go. And it takes me basically no active time. The preparing time is like 5 minutes total. If it took any longer than that, I probably wouldn't do it. I would be asking these same questions. How do I make this a little bit easier for myself? I have to make it so easy that I can't not do it. What are these meals that are taking you like an entire night to meal prep, and how can you speed that up? There's never been an easier time to get meal prep information. You look up quick, easy meal prep on Google, or you look that up on Instagram, wherever it is that you might want to look this up. You will find people that will give you tutorials on how to do things in ways you could not have thought of before. Super easy. You have to keep it easy, or else you won't do it. I am not, by the way, guilty. I'm not motivated. I don't have drive and ambition and everything. If I don't keep things easy, you will not catch me dead in a pair of shoes that require being tied. All of my shoes are slip-ons, every one of them. I wore slip-ons to a wedding. There are no laces. Now, if you look at them, they kind of look like they have laces, but they're actually just like bungee cord. Because I just like slipping my shoes on and slipping them off and not thinking about it. I will never wear laces again. But Mike, that's what toddlers wear. Good. I'm a little baby boy, and nobody can stop me. Make it so easy that you can't not do it. I don't want to go to the gym. No, you want to go to the gym. You've never regretted going to the gym. You don't want to put your shoes on and drive there. How can you make it so easy that you can't not do it? If part of it is like, shit, I don't want to put on my gym shorts, put them on when you get out of bed in the morning and just wear them around the house. They're comfy. Don't worry about it. And then when it's time to go to the gym, guess what? Hey, you're already dressed. You don't have to think about it. That's a step that is no longer in the way of you and you having better goals, or better results, rather. Give that a shot. Make it so easy that you can't not do it. Mike, you just reminded me of something from West Wing that I really love. Are you familiar with the guy in a whole speech Leo gives? I've never seen it, but if you send me a clip on Instagram, or not Instagram, Discord, go to the Discord, and there's a spot for it. I think it's called I Found This. It's a whole channel of just like, hey, I found this cool thing, and I want to share it. Just tag me in there. How do you not obsess over someone who you know doesn't like you romantically? They don't like you romantically. So what's the point in liking someone that doesn't like you back? What do you get from it? There's honestly nothing exciting for me in that prospect at all. If I find out that someone doesn't like me, I'm not interested anymore. Not because, obviously it's just the decent thing to do for their sake, but it's also the decent thing to do for me. And part of being attracted to someone is the idea of them liking you back, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but if my current partner had not liked me back, I would have been no worse for the wear, just moving on and finding someone that, it did work for me. It's the same thing with weight loss habits. Like if you choose something that just doesn't really work for you, like, keto or carnivore or something like that, why go back to it? It sucked. It didn't work before. It's not for you. It's honestly not for anybody. We should be doing things that benefit us. There's no joy in things that don't like us back. Steven says, I think you should focus on what's hard and make it easy. Like I historically have hated breakfast and mornings, so I generally make overnight oats or chia seed puddings in batches. That's great. Yeah, you can do that. I'm weird. I like the ritual of making food. That being said, I don't like when it takes a long time, so everything that I make is relatively easy. But yeah, that's a great one right there. Make it easy. If it's easy, you won't not do it. Hello from Turkey. Let's see. Do you think one meal a day is viable? No. Or a good option for someone trying to hit their deficit? No. With their calories, but also isn't interested in eating every day? I think I'm going to an extreme version of eating disorders, yes, but I'm never hungry throughout the day until evening. What are your meals consisting of right now? Is it a lot of protein or very heavy, very satiating things? Is that the case? Think of it this way. If you have a plant and it requires a gallon of water every month to be healthy, would you give that gallon to the plant in a single day? Why not? It needs a gallon of water. Just pour it all in there. Oh, what? Because the plant will drown if you put all the water in there at once? Just go slow. One of the reasons that you might not be all that interested in food is because you've been shoving it down quickly lately. I know anytime that I was stuffing myself silly, I kind of hated the idea of food for the rest of the day. I know it's my first time on live video chat. Thank you. Looking forward to joining you next. Well, thank you for being here, Kayla. I'm not sure if you're still here, but I'm glad that you were. Hello, hey Cynthia, I'm glad to see you. Pretty new around here. I found your videos recently, and I can't even begin to say how much it's meant to me already to see your videos and feel like someone gets it. Well, Cynthia, first off, I should say two things. Sorry, because if you relate to my videos, then I know what it's like to live in your brain, and I know it's not a great time. But I'm so glad that you're here. Because sometimes we don't really have the solutions. Sometimes I don't have the solutions. All I have is empathy to let you know that at least you're not alone. And that's something that I found along my journey here on social media is that when I posted a video last year, in July of last year, where I took my shirt off. No one knew who I was at the time. Not that anyone knows who I am now. But less people knew who I was then. And I took my shirt off at the boardwalk in Wildwood, New Jersey. It was the first time that I'd been shirtless at the beach in close to a decade at that point. Actually, that summer was the first time I'd worn shorts in probably a decade as well, because I was wearing jeans to the beach up to that point. And one day I just said, you know what, fuck it. I'm taking my shirt off. I don't care what happens. And I threw it behind me, and I walked onto the boardwalk, and I filmed myself doing it. And I was scared, I was shaking, I was a little bit teary, but I talked about the fact that, you know, I just look like anybody else now. I just blend in, which would have been true even at my heaviest anyway. No one would have seen me and been like, wow, look at that guy in particular. He's very large. No one thinks that way. But, of course, you know, my body dysmorphia, negative self-talk brain was telling me that everybody was looking at me. And that was sort of my bid to be like, you know what, screw you. Not screw you out to everybody else, but screw the voice inside my head that was telling me that I couldn't do it, which culminates to today. Same thing. I got a tank top for the first time ever. Never had one in my life. Ever. This, you know, I'd been shirtless before in my life, but having a tank like this never happened. And I thought about it, and I'm like, well, why don't I? And I was scared to do it. Because there's a lot of intentionality in the tank top. With the shirtlessness, it's very primal. It's very bare. It's like it's an on-off switch. It's either it's on or it's off. There's no in between. You can't be kind of shirtless unless you put on a tank top. But this adds a level of intentionality. This is me. When I've got a shirt off, it's just, okay, the guy's got his shirt off. When you have a tank top on, that is a conscious projection out to the universe that says, like, I want you to see the more of my body than is usual. I want you to see extra of me that is not typical. And as a guy who was formerly fat and felt like he needed to hide himself for the visual comfort and pleasure of others, I didn't want to project the image out that I thought people should see me. So the idea of a tank top was very concerning to me. It's like, well, I don't want to be rude. I don't want people to see me like this, I don't want them to think that I want them to see me like this. And then I'm like, well, okay, who's them? Who is this? Who is this person that I'm talking about? It's me. No one's ever told me this. No one's ever said, hey, don't wear a tank. I'm honestly being rude to the people around me, to strangers, to anybody that I feel may perceive me by putting words in their mouth. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to get the tank. And I did. So, Cynthia, I get it. Trust me, I get it. Unfortunately, I get it. Unfortunately, you get it. That's pretty much my situation between school and work. I wouldn't eat all day, and then I'd go wild overnight. Had a bit of structure that's helped me a lot. Yeah, structure is huge. Some people will be actually pretty good 5 days a week and then fall apart on the weekends. And to those people, I say, why does the whole structure have to fall apart? Why can't you eat at the same time? If you have freedom all that day, why not try to eat around the same time that you do when things are working out? Give it a shot. What's next, though? Speedos? I don't think a Speedo would be... my balls would be hanging out. It wouldn't be a pleasant sight. Wonder says, I admit I used to be obsessed over one girl. She was never clear of what she thought of me. I eventually just gave up as I couldn't keep caring about the anxiety of what she thought of me. Perfect. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks of me anymore. That being said, I don't want to be an active antagonist in anybody's life, but I don't care that much. If someone doesn't like me, okay, I'm going to get out of their way. I'm going to move on. No trouble. That's fine. Nobody has to like me. Speedo and covered in vegetable oil. Scotty's coming out here on Thursday. We're going to be hanging out. Maybe we'll get oiled up together. Is there a poor, lazy way? I don't believe in the term lazy, but we'll continue. Lazy way to do high-volume, nutrient-dense diets. I dream of eating as much fruits and veggies as I want, but like pretty much everyone else, I can barely afford to eat as is. Is a high-volume diet something a poor person can sustain, or should I wait until I bring a second income into the household? So, my food bill is very minimal every month. I'm not an expensive eater. If you're talking about like you have to buy all the organic stuff and the packages with the muted colors and everything, and like, hey, this is a healthy food. Like I don't buy any of that shit because it's not necessary. I would say my grocery bill when I go there about twice a month, and I'm probably paying a little less than $100 each time I go. And that feeds me for the whole month. My food bill is very, very cheap. If you have Aldi near you, or a Lidl, I know some places have Lidl but not Aldi, that's where I get all my food, all of it. So that's the so to speak poor way of doing it. I am not well off. I don't have very much money. Some of you in this chat are very likely making more money than I am. You can stumble over that bar. It's very low. So I'm not eating the kind of Instagram influencer meals that you see people chopping up bell peppers that they grew in their garden, on their 20-acre land on a cutting board that's more expensive than our cars combined. It's just simply not necessary. Here we go. My doctor told me that she wanted to put me on Ozempic, but my insurance wants me to pay $2,000 out of pocket on top of the $3,000 discount the insurance company has given me. I feel like I need to focus more on diet and exercise. Anyways, you have to do that no matter what. Oh, diabetic. Okay. I hate that as a diabetic this can help me, but I also feel like it's wild that I need to spill out $2,000 to make a change. There are other things that you can do to manage diabetes. And I'm not talking about at home trying to cure diabetes. I'm not talking about that. And if anyone tells you to try to cure diabetes at home, report them. I'm talking like if you see that video on Instagram, someone's like, here's how to cure diabetes at home. That's a person that's killing people. Report them for some kind of danger, whatever it is. Pull up the report button, see which one looks best. So if you're talking about Ozempic in terms of A1C management and such, obviously it is good for you. But yeah, if your insurance isn't covering it, then it's obviously not an option. Am I being weird about caring about my doctor wanting me to be on Ozempic, but my insurance won't cover the whole thing? No, you're just living in the worst country for healthcare on the planet. And it's not even like we don't have the money to do it. It's not even like we don't have the infrastructure to do it. We're the one civilized, developed nation on the planet that has chosen every day to not enact healthcare in any capacity. And I'm not talking about the Affordable Care Act. I don't know if anyone's ever tried to go through that. It's not affordable. It's not even close. It's absolutely insane. Other countries that have fully funded healthcare systems are paying about 5% more taxes on average, but they're actually getting value back for all the taxes that they're paying. Whereas in the United States, we get absolutely no value for the taxes that we pay. In any capacity, it just disappears overseas. We're sending it everywhere but here. So no, you're not weird for caring about the fact that you're paying into a system that's not paying you back, that you're not getting anything for it. It pisses me off that people, like when I say sometimes like, hey, you might want to speak to a doctor, not an influencer about this. People sometimes are coming to me and other people who are aware. I'm not a professional, by the way. I'm just someone who has read about this obsessively and has spoken to professionals and that manner, but I'm not a professional. The fact that people have to come to people online because they cannot afford to get proper care from professionals in real life is embarrassing. We're a failure of a nation in the United States. And this is where I may lose some of you talking about this stuff. But we really are. We should be able to take care of the people here. We've got plenty of, if we're the richest nation on the planet, why is it that the people who are making the laws are the only rich people and we have nothing? Political rant over. Buy frozen veggies. Also, lentils are super cheap and are the base of many of my lunches. Yep, Steven's got it right there. That's a good one. Not me crying over here. I lost over 100 pounds and I have a long way to go because I was, wow. It's over 400 pounds. Not many people care because I'm still really big, but alas, at least one person gets it. Thank you. Cynthia, if you are not in our Discord community yet, please come and join us. Please, I would love to have you there. And let them know when you get there that I personally invited you. I said, Cynthia, you are my new friend, and I would love to have you here. I am so anyone who has lost a triple-digit amount of weight has not done so by accident. That takes a lot of effort and a lot of very strict intentionality, and I know it's not easy. I only lost 10 more pounds than that, and you've still got more to go. This did not happen by accident. This happened from a very concerted effort that you made, from choices that you made, from effort that you made. And I hope that you are as grateful to you as I am to you for making that progress for yourself. Thank you for being kind to my friend Cynthia. Here's how I cure diabetes. Seriously, it's like dangerous. It's terrifying to see these people talking about here's how to cure your diabetes, and then people skip their insulin and they die. I've heard of a couple of cases like this where somebody online, we can think of a couple of names in our heads of people that are talking about how big pharma is evil, and I'm not telling you they're great. Like, I'm not telling you pharmaceutical companies have your best intentions in mind, but most of the medication that comes out is fine. Like, there's a couple of things that, obviously we're overprescribing certain medications, but for the most part, it's fine. It's okay. There are people that are much smarter than us making these decisions. Obviously, you want to come in there ready to ask a couple of questions and push back a little bit and demand that you're explained what it is that you're going to have. But that all being said, there's no big conspiracy to keep you sick or whatever. It's ridiculous. Be kind to yourself, Wonder. I'm not sure if you're still here, but I'm glad that you were. Mahogany, in Canada, most of our health care is covered for us. Oh, yeah, in most of the developed world. It's a little slow and hard to find a family doctor at times, but at least cost-wise, it's good. Well, over here, I can't do shit about shit. I do not have health care, and I won't until I leave my state. I'm going to have to go to a different state to possibly $700 a month. That was the cheapest policy I was able to find, was $700 a month. And that's not including the deductible. There's still a deductible of several thousand on top of that. So I'm just like, well, if I need care and I'm going to have to pay for it anyway, and I've got a $5,000 deductible before they'll cover anything, then I may as well I'm going to have to go into debt anyway if something goes wrong. So I may as well just not fucking have health care. This is coming from somebody who's got a heart condition and breathing troubles. I am unmedicated right now, and I don't have the option to be medicated because we just have to bomb hospitals in other countries. Because that's useful, right? Love going to sleep knowing that a hospital is burning. That makes me feel good. That 52 cents of every one of my tax dollars goes to killing somebody. Love it. America, though, right? You guys woke up the angry political Mike, but I got to pop out of here anyway. What a note to end this on. This isn't something that I want to end this on. My goodness. But I think we're winding down anyway. I shut down the Instagram stream. I shut down TikTok. I shut down everything. So I'm going to pop out of here because my melatonin is making me phase out, as you can see, as I'm losing words here. But thank you guys all for being here. If anybody here is not in the Discord community yet, I would love it if you joined us in the Discord community. It is at the link wherever you find me, whether you be on Twitch or YouTube. You can do Linktree/Mike Pridgeon, and I'll be there. Right here on my phone, and this isn't just like, I'm dropping you off and I'm not part of it. Like I'm in there all the time sending messages, so you will have contact with me there. If anyone's looking for more personal coaching, I've got 2 spots open for my one-on-ones. So I would I'm about to put up an application here shortly, but I really don't want to because every time I do, I get 100 messages and notifications and calls that I have to do. So I would much rather reach out to people who are really ready to do it and don't just see like an advertisement and say, oh, well, I could lose some weight. And then they pop on and, they're not really ready for it. So those of you who have been here for a while, you're probably ready to have another hour-long conversation with me at a certain point. If you are looking for more guided one-to-one help, I've got that available. You just go to Linktree and you'll find it. It says apply to work one-on-one with me. If not, there's no magic secret behind my coaching. It's not like I'm going to give you the actual secret to weight loss when you come working with me. What I become is a strategist in your life. And you're going to run your troubles by me. I'm going to run my experience by you. We're going to pinpoint and target and strategize and plan to make your life better. That all being said, you don't have to pay me shit. You can just use my videos. You can just use my podcast. You can use this right here. I do these live streams and give as much free information out as I can all the time. So, there's no magic secret I'm hiding. All I'm doing is on my YouTube page. All of them are saved on YouTube, so you can watch them front to back if you'd like to, plus a whole bunch of other installments that you may not have gotten to see before. I've got a lot of shit to plug. How cool is that? That I'm doing all these different things. A year ago, I was barely surviving. In general, I was very sad. I was in a situation I was not happy in. I was in friend. It took a long time to get here, but I'm still on my way. I am successful, but I'm not a success. Does that make any sense? I am successful, but I am not a success. I feel like being a success is an end point. It's like I've gotten from front to back and I'm over here and I'm capped. I can't go any further. But if I am successful, I just continue on. I keep going. I just continue to become more and more successful as I grow. So don't be a success. Be successful. That's what I'll leave you off with today. I got to write that down because I've never said that before nor heard it. Thank you, everybody, for being here.